Hello friends, thank you so much for being here today with me. I've been absent, I know, but today I am bringing you a video about all my favorite all-time romances, be it contemporary, be it historical, etc. So let's get on to it. To start, we have the first book here, and that's The Bromance Book Club by Lisa K. Adams. So this book is basically, as the name says, it has a book club and it's constituted by boys, men. So these men are to help Gavin, who is our main character, reunite with his wife, to be ex, or is already ex. Yeah, I think it's like to be ex-wife, and her name is Thea, and he seeks help from his friends, and this friend in particular tells him to bring a book to a book club where they read romance and try to incorporate the ideas of romance in these books in real life. And I thought it was hilarious. I loved this book so much. I have the continuation of the series to read for each of the boys, and I can't wait to read them. And I heard the author is actually going to publish a book with this cover and this name. I think it's courting the Countess. Exactly. She's going to publish the book called Courting the Countess, and I cannot wait to read it. I already know I'm going to love it. I really recommend. This was a 5-star read to me. Next, I have a book here that it was a gift to me, and I think it was my friend Thaisa. And this is How to Fail at Flirting by Denise Williams. I absolutely love the concept of this book. Like, it's a work romance, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I remember this. So this is about two like strangers, Naya and Jake. And Naya has like a little to-do list to get out of her comfort zone. And she goes to a bar with her friends, and her to-do list is like, let a guy buy her a drink, try something new, and hook up with someone. And she meets Jake, but what happens is that Jake happens to be like her boss or something, or like related to her job, and it can ruin her career or something like that. And they hook up, and it gets so complicated, and I'm like, I love this. It was amazing. I read this in one sitting. It was perfect. I love the writing, so like fast-paced and so fluid. It wouldn't let me bore myself out. It was amazing. It was another 5-star read. I highly recommend if you're like, reading slump, or if you want to try romance, this is the book for you. So the next book I have here is actually a book that is very talked in the Bookstagram community, and it actually has been translated in Portuguese already, and that is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Ebert. So in Portuguese is Acorda para a Vida, Chloe Brown, and I really like this. I heard that the second book about the oldest sister in the Brown trio sister sister trio, exactly. Oh my god. I heard that the second book is even better, but I really like this. It was the fibromyalgia representation on this book was one of the things that made me like it a lot, because there aren't many books with representation for people like this, with this kind of diseases, and I'm still looking for a book with representation to multiple sclerosis, and I really liked this. It was hot, it was spicy, but not like spicy enough that would make you like cringe. Like some of the books that I've read lately are too much spicy, like to the concrete detail. I was saying pormenor in Portuguese. But yeah, this book has also a to-do list for the main character, and that to-do list is enjoy a drunken night out, ride a motorbike, go camping, have meaningless but thoroughly enjoyable sex, travel the world with nothing but hand luggage, and do something bad. So Chloe meets this handsome neighbor she has, and his name is Red, and he will help her achieve all her goals on her to-do list, and it was stunning. I absolutely loved reading this. It was amazing. It was so clever, and Talia Hibbert's writing is super fun. Like, you cannot stop reading it from the moment you read the first paragraph. It won't stop. So the next book I have here is a controversial read for some of you. When I first read this book, I really loved it. It was a 5-star read for me too. And the second one wasn't as good because this is supposed to be a trilogy. And the second one wasn't that good. But the third book is coming this year. I think it's actually in the next month, May. And I'm really excited to read it. And the book I'm talking about is American Royals by Catherine McGee. So we have like 5 POVs or 4 POVs in this book. And this is like Gossip Girl meets royalty. I love this. I love this so much. Has sprayed edges. This is the regular edition, by the way. The UK edition has sprayed pink, like hot pink edges. And I love the main character. Like, she's amazing. I think her name is, Princess Beatrice. And their sister Samantha. They're my favorite characters because, like, they're the opposite of each other. Like, the exact opposite. Like, Princess Beatrice is all in a certain way, like she goes from the paradigms of royalty, and Samantha likes to be rebel. She's really rebellious and she likes to provoke wreckage. She's amazing. They're amazing. The exact opposite of each other, but they complement each other in the best ways. I loved this. The next book I'm going to talk about, I don't own a physical copy with me because I loaned it to a friend who hasn't gave it to me yet, and that is Presuming You by Sonic Tree. This is a very underrated book, even though I've been seeing much more people reading her work now, and I'm so happy because she's an indie author like I am, and she is super talented. She writes spicy romance, which I absolutely love. Like, she goes for the detail, but she doesn't go to the excruciating little detail in in sex, basically. And this was amazing. I have read some of her books, inclusive her newest book is When Words Waver, and I really liked it because it has Portuguese Brazilian representation, but this book was just I don't know why y'all haven't read her work yet, but I think she deserves hype. She's a brilliant writer, and I think that with each book she writes, she gets better in description and in accommodating the character's needs. I think it was really amazing. I think everyone should read this book. Not only because our main characters are plus-size characters, but because they get the happy ending every girl deserves to have. So, give her work a chance. The next book I have here is a book that came out last year, not yesterday, last year. And I read it as a NetGalley. I can't speak. As a NetGalley digital arc, and it was just stunning. That book is The Royals Next Door by Karina Hale. Like, first, this cover screams spring and summer, literally. And then, like, the main characters of this book, Piper and I think it's Harrison. Yeah, Piper and Harrison are like the best, like, romance couple out there for me. Like, this book has like 2 royals who actually I think are portrayed as our Princess Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. I don't know about the royals, so I'm really sorry. I'm going to leave a picture so you know they are, and they're portrayed like them in my opinion, and I think the author actually portrayed them as well. And then they move to a city where Piper is living, and they're looking for a place to crash and have a holiday, and she lives in like a little place with a palace, like not a palace but like a huge house that resembles a palace, and they go to live there, and she lives there as well in like a little house with her mother, and the sexy bodyguard Harrison notices her and she notices him, and we see a building relationship and a building tension between them. It was super hot. It was super amazing. Like, we love the banter. Like, sometimes I like the banter way better than the spicy scenes because the banter actually builds up to the spicy scene, and we love a slow burn. I loved this book so much. It was a 5-star read. I highly recommend them for you too. It's really small. I read it in like one sitting. It's like 300 pages. Pick it up. The next book I have here is a Bookstagram Book Talk favorite, and that's The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. They are such amazing authors. For those of you who don't know, Christina Lauren isn't one person, it's two people, two women, and they write such amazing romantic comedy. Like, this book was amazing. I think it's Holly and Ethan, exactly. And they're like sister and brother or something like that. They're getting married, and then they get into a huge food contamination, and they have to go on the honeymoon with them. They have to go on the honeymoon instead of them, like, so they won't lose the honeymoon. And they go, and they hate each other, but when they get there, they start actually feeling something for each other, and it's amazing. Like, the banter, the slow burn, and the funniest scenes of my life. I've read like these and I couldn't stop giggling. It was amazing. Like, I don't know if y'all are sleeping on this. Even though this is super hyped, I really recommend it because this is a good hype. This isn't like a hype with controversial opinions. This is actually a hype that most people agree on. It was so good. I actually think I read this as a book of the month for the Reader's Train book club. I don't remember which month it was. I think it was like June or July. This is perfect to read in the summer because it's set in the summer, but you can read it all year and you'll still love it. 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I have here is a book I read recently. I actually finished last week, and that is The Kiss Quotient by Ellen Wong. Ellen Wong is my favorite romance author. My favorite book of all time is actually the one I'm going to talk next. Actually, I can talk about them both. It's The Heart Principle. This is part of the series. The only one I'm missing here is The Bright Test. I haven't read it yet. I actually read this book as an arc, and people told me I could read it as a standalone, even though it's part of a trilogy, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was perfect. We talk about anxiety and depression and afraidness of coming out in the world, and it was stunning, and I loved this so much. It was Anna and Kwan, I think, and I actually read this book, and Kwan is mentioned, and I really liked both of these books. They're like not tied because I like The Art Principle more, but The Kiss Quotient I read recently, and that's how it's done. Like, she made a romance between a male escort and a girl who is afraid of getting personal with people because she doesn't like being touched and she never enjoyed sex. So she hired a male escort to teach her how to be a good girlfriend, and they end up catching feelings, obviously. Like, from the start, they look at each other and they're like, wow, they're gorgeous. They're like the exact people I can fall in love with. And they do. It was good. I just want to say this might be triggering because some people feel uncomfortable with the main character that not knowing how to behave with men, and with the fact that the male escort telling her things to do, it might be a little uncomfortable. But when you get past that, it gets enjoyable. Of course, I couldn't come to this video without talking about The Viscount Who Loved Me by Julia Quinn. The Netflix adaptation of this book, the second season, just came out, and even though it was really different from the book, I enjoyed it. The Viscount Who Loved Me is my favorite Bridgerton book. I haven't read them all. I read only the Daphne book, the Anthony book, and the Benedict book, and that book is mentioned here too because I loved it so much as well. But Anthony's story and Kate's story it's just, it hits you in the gut. It was really good. Their tragic pasts the way they are now and the way they fit each other so beautifully. Y'all are sleeping on the bridge. And that concludes the end of this video. And I am really sorry. I'm all over the place. I always do this. I'm like, just pretend like everything is fine. And so if you liked this video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe and comment, and let's talk about your favorite romance books and give me some recommendations, because I have been trying to go through all my TBR, but I can't because I have so many books to read. I can't decide. I just can't. So I'm trying to go to my digital arcs first. So that's it for this video. I'm hoping to see you again soon. And until then, remember, every bit of imagination in your head only becomes real when you read a book. Bye.